If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. We're going to go live on YouTube as well. And we're going to be live on Facebook, as well as a couple groups inside of Facebook. So
That's right.
welcome to the show. Oh, I got to turn this down. There we go.
That's it. What's going on, everybody? Jesse Moon, Helen to you from Frisco, Texas, and I am joined by my business partner, Mark Cassari. He is a financial strategist, not strategist, a strategist, my friends. And he's going to share a little bit about how he went from being in corporate America, being a marketing director for a large corporation, to how he was able to leave his full-time job and start his own business to replace his full-time, and is currently making upwards of $350,000, $400,000. He's going to show you the exact formula on how to do that, guys. Mark, what's going on, brother? Where you hailing to us from?
Guys, I am hailing to you from San Francisco, California. Yay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm in Frisco, about 6 minutes away from Jesse Moon. We just want to provide some value today. We want to drop some content, drop some bombs. And that's it, man. We're on TikTok. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. Make sure you drop a comment down below. Let us know any questions that you have. If you're watching from live on Facebook, go ahead and click that link for StreamYard so that you can comment. And then once you do that, we'll be able to see on our feed the comments that you have, and we'll be able to showcase them as well.
That's it, guys. Yeah, let us know what city and state you're logging in from. I want to see how many states we can actually get on here today. TikTok, I just want to be honest with you guys. Mark and I, we were very consistent about 3 years ago. Guys, we were bringing value to you guys. We helped a lot of you, hundreds of thousands of you, to set up your financial strategies, to develop a tax-free retirement plan. And then what happened is they changed the algorithm, and we saw the viewership stop. So we went to a different platform, and I guess you guys didn't follow us over there. And then we built another platform. So we want to continue bringing value to you guys. So here we are. Let us know what questions you have about financial strategies, concepts, ideas, tax-free retirement, financial investments, because I want to tell you something. Every one of you has questions, but many of you don't know what questions to ask or where to go to find the answers to those questions. We just
Absolutely.
deliver that value and be that go-to channel for you guys. But cool, man. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the cryptocurrency space. I think that'd be good to
Yep.
talk about cryptocurrency, is because you and I both come from the cryptocurrency. About we're about what 5-6 years removed from it, from
Sure.
actually being in it. Now,
2017, 2018.
yeah, and that was the initial, I guess, birth, because I got in when Bitcoin was $643 a coin, and I was on that initial ride up to 19,000, and
Correct.
that
Yeah.
was the end of 2017, and then when Bitcoin went back down to 3,000, that's when everybody was they were losing everything. They were taking reverse mortgages out on their homes. This is when we
People
had
were
those crypto
selling
lending
kidneys, man. It was
platforms.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
remember
because of the
BitConnect? That
FOMO.
was a mess.
BitConnect, USI Tech, Regal
Yeah.
Coin, all these lending
Lost a lot of
platforms
money.
just disappeared overnight.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
what was good is you saw I posted USI Tech 7 years later finally is going to prison for
I
scamming
saw
everybody
that.
out of their money.
I
And
saw that. They're going under. Yeah.
I see over the past couple days now that Bitcoin went back up to 61,
Yeah.
62,000, and
That's
I see
crazy.
I'm just looking at the verbiage of some of these posts, and people are trying to strike the fear into other people. Hey, it's going to the
Yeah.
moon. It's doing this. It's doing that. What are your thoughts on that? And what are some actionable steps and guidance you can give somebody on maintaining their emotions and not putting money into something they don't understand?
Yeah, absolutely. So Bitcoin's market cap right now is $2.3 trillion dollars. And
Wow.
I saw an article recently that Bitcoin's market cap is bigger than, what was it, bigger than Disney? It was bigger than, there was a whole bunch of listed companies, bigger than Nike. I mean, there was a whole bunch of stuff listed, but crypto's not going anywhere. Although we don't advise against crypto, and although we don't meet one on one with people and advise our clients on what to do with crypto, I'm still a big crypto believer. I follow the markets. I follow certain coins, and I believe crypto is going to be around for forever. I mean, I don't until something replaces it even better. I don't think crypto is going anywhere. Bitcoin's definitely not going anywhere. We saw it crash over the last couple of years. Went down to $3,000, $4,000. I mean, people thought it was the end of Bitcoin. I think over the last probably 12 years, Bitcoin has literally died 30 times, and headlines would come out, major news networks. It's the end of Bitcoin. The scam is over. The Ponzi scheme is over. And every single time they came out and said Bitcoin was dead, Bitcoin would skyrocket up to a new all-time high. And we were at 60, almost 70,000 2 years ago. You know what's coming up right now, right? What's coming up this coming year? It's the Bitcoin halving.
Bitcoin halving. Yep.
I mean, that right there. Now, a lot of people don't realize what's going to take place with the halving, but it's going to make it harder to mine. It's going to cause more scarcity to take place. And whenever there's a commodity, or whenever there's an asset that is scarce, there's a limited, finite amount of it. That's what drives the price through the roof.
No.
It's very You saw that? Well, look at that on my screen. I got sparkles happening. I'm on my Mac over here. You guys couldn't see it on TikTok. But whenever there's a limited resource of something, that's what drives up the price. Look at gold. Look at oil. Look at all these different things where there's a finite, limited amount. It's driving up the price. And Bitcoin is going to continue to go up from this point on. I guarantee you, in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll see 100,000, 200, 300, and who knows? Sky's the limit with how far and how high crypto is going to go. But what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts on the recent surge in Bitcoin and the other altcoins, I believe some wealthy investors put some money in there, and they're about to take their money right back out. And the reason why is
That's the
this
manipulation.
surge,
Correct.
it doesn't even make sense because the halving hasn't even happened yet.
Correct.
So a lot of people are about to lose, and then the wealthy is gonna take their profits. Little guys are gonna be the ones that lose,
Yeah.
and then when the halving takes place, they're going to earn even more. I'm talking about the wealthy, because right now they're making a big lump sum, putting it in there, spiking it up, then they're gonna dump it out, and then the halving
At
is gonna
all-time
happen.
high, they
Correct.
pull it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I believe next year is when we're gonna see the big pump. It's gonna be a
Sure.
consistent pump, not some flash by night. Next
Yeah.
year is gonna pump up, and I think next year is when we're gonna reach 100,000.
Yeah, because
I'm talking October, November timeframe,
we're at an all-time
2025.
high and they try to pull the rug out from people, it causes the price to drive down because everybody gets freaked out and they start pulling their money. And then what do? The whales come in and scoop up all the discounted,
Sure.
crypto and assets, and then they build it back up again. And they've been doing that for that's an oldest trick in the book. They've been doing that for
Now, just take in
decades.
mind, Mark, do you remember asking me, I believe it was 2022, maybe early 2023, you said, "Hey, coach, what's your buy line again?" I think Bitcoin was at 50 something thousand, 58, 59,000.
Yeah.
I said, "I'm not buying until it reaches 15,000 again." He said, "Do you really?"
Right.
You said, "Do you really think it's gonna go to 15,000?" I said, "1000%. Every 4 years, it's gonna dump. It's a 4-year cycle." And
Sure.
what
Sure.
happened? I sent you a message one morning. I said, "Check the price." It
Yep.
went below 15,000. I said, "I just
Yep.
bought some more." So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
understand how to read charts, you understand the cycles of how cryptocurrencies are operating and how stocks operate. That's how you can get wealthy, guys.
Yeah.
But don't invest money that you're not willing to lose. Please don't do that. And
No. No.
don't take food out of your family's mouth so you can potentially hope to get ahead.
Here's
But
our disclaimer with crypto.
it's something to be excited about.
Disclaimer with crypto is only invest what you're willing to absolutely lose. And if that's only
1000%.
$100, then let it be because you will end up losing. You'll win. There's you have heard of the Dogecoin millionaire, right? That
Yeah.
that guy that he was like at like 3
He
million
held
or
it too
four
damn long.
million
I don't
dollars.
know what it
Yeah, he held it. He should have sold. He would have been set. He held it and went back down to zero, man. But
Yep.
recently, Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, those are some of the altcoins. They've been seeing a big spike. Big spike.
Oh,
They
so
they
check this
they
out.
almost
So
doubled.
I'm excited about 2 coins. I don't believe I believe in blockchain technology, so I know blockchain technology and cryptocurrency is the future.
Of
However, I
course.
believe there
Yep.
has to be some sort of regulation and regulation on it to keep the scammers away, and
Of course.
especially these exchanges. But 2 coins I I'm excited about. One of them is a shit coin, has nothing behind it, and that's Shiba Inu. Here's
Yeah.
why I'm excited about it is because I put $1,200 into it last year. Okay. Now that's a 7-year hold. So
Hmm.
I'm not looking for it to do anything until 2026, 2027.
Right.
But the reason why it's such low price is because of the amount of supply that it has. But you've seen they've been burning
Sure.
billions of them over the
And
past several months. And
yes.
that's one reason why the price. They said by the year 2027, it should be at least 1 cent. That
Right.
$1,200 investment will be worth 18 million if it goes to 1 cent.
And what a lot of
So
people don't realize is
who knows?
when these companies burn their coins, they're doing it for a very specific reason because they're trying to limit the supply. And when they burn the coins, it slowly drives the price up. And if they burn enough coins, then the price is going to shoot up because everybody's going to catch on. So, guys, get into it while you're an early investor, and you can use stuff like Robinhood, Coinbase, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, be very wise with what you do. Be very wise. Just use play money. Use a couple bucks here and there, dollar cost average, but be very
Sammy
careful.
Franco, what's going on, brother man? Long
Yeah,
time
yeah,
no talk. I've been seeing your videos. I love your consistency, brother man. Good stuff. Appreciate your support. Um,
yeah.
the
Well,
other
I
coin
found the
I'm
article.
excited about.
It says Bitcoin's market cap is larger than Tesla, Walmart, Visa, and some other top companies as of
That's
this
crazy.
February 2024. Crazy,
That's
crazy.
insane, man. Bitcoin
Yeah.
is a business. But XRP is the other one that I'm excited about. I'm excited about it for a couple different reasons. First one is because I bought 800,000 Ripple XRP for 6/10 of a cent for
Mhm.
$150 back in 2016. And I just hodl,
Yeah,
right? And they
it's at six
recently
cents, right? 6 cents right
it,
now.
no,
Oh,
XRP was at
63
56 cents.
cents.
Yeah.
63 cents right
So
now.
I
Yeah.
bought it at 6/10 of a cent. It wasn't even a
Wow.
cent back then. But
Yeah.
they just got out of they just won their lawsuit. But XRP has been used by over 50 banking institutions over in Asia for the past 7, 8 years. So it works, faster transaction
Wow.
speeds. And it is the only coin next to Stellar Lumen, which is it can compete, but it needs some more backing in the
Yep.
financial space. And I believe
Yeah.
pretty soon, Bank of America has been testing out with it, so it works. So I'm excited
Yep.
about XRP.
XRP is number 6 on Coin Market Cap right now, and
Yeah.
Stellar is kind of down there. They had some good run back a few years ago. They were doing some good things, some technological things. They had some advances. Stellar's at 34 on the Coin Market Cap chart right now, and then I was always into VeChain. VeChain had some good utility to it. They were going to get into the car industry and stuff
Mhm.
like that, but I like Lumen. I like XRP, and then a couple of those funny coins. Right. I used to be a huge Litecoin holder, man. I used to have a good bag of Litecoin, but
Mhm.
they were up to some scammy stuff at one point, and there was a lot of news around that, so I sold. But
Absolutely.
if you go with the big boys, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana's a fork of Ethereum. I mean, you just dollar cost average with those, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if
well,
you dollar cost average with 100 coins, one of them is bound to pop. You know what I mean?
yeah. If you think about it, let's just say there's 1,000 altcoins or 1,000 cryptocurrencies.
Hmm.
990 of them are crap. There's nothing
Yes,
backing it. There's no support. So right now it's just a race on who has a significant backing and a tangible
for sure.
and something tangible behind it that can actually
Yeah,
serve a purpose.
it has to have
And then
utility, of course.
exactly utility. Um, a lot of people's been asking me because we're in the life insurance space, and a lot of people's been asking me, well, what happens if the BRICS comes through and the dollar goes to zero and
Yep,
we switch over to digital asset? I'm like, bro, I said we've been in digital space for.
long
I
time.
said I said you have a debit card that has a chip on it, right? That's digital, right? So it's not new. We've been using ATM is digital. Now we've been using this digital stuff. Online banking, that's digital. I said the only thing that would happen is it would convert to whatever the new currency is. But remember this about currency. Currency is only an exchange of value. We, the citizens, have to give something value. This
Sure,
this this pair of scissors is only worth whatever we're willing to pay for it.
correct.
If it's $5 in the store and nobody buys them, they're going to lower the price because it's not worth $5. So, but I do believe a time is going to come in our lifetime, um, where it's going to go back to the old barter system. I got some
Yeah,
beans, you got some rice, let's trade. I do
that's
believe
a
that
scary
day's going
thought.
to come
That's a
if
scary thought.
leadership in the country doesn't change.
Yeah, but here's the other thought. Here's the other side of that spectrum, right? I believe there could be a day where the products and services that we offer in the financial services industry, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, maybe those are backed by cryptocurrency. Matter of fact, there's a couple companies right now working on trademarks and working on patents to allow life insurance carriers to be pegged not just to the US markets or the indices, but actually to be pegged to the different cryptocurrent markets and the cryptocurrencies, because what's going to happen is you'll get higher gains, but if they have the 0% floor like the IULs do, you'll get the higher gains without any of the losses. And it's like a win-win. Carriers are going to make money, the clients are going to make money, and everybody else in between is going to make money. So there are a few companies out there. There's one company called Axios that is actually working on something. There's a couple articles. You can check it out on your own. We won't dive too far into that, but that's pretty cool to think about. If it becomes
That's it.
regulated, if it becomes safe, and there's some rules around it where you won't get scammed, right? If it's with a trustworthy company, hey, I don't see anything wrong with that, in my opinion.
And one last thing before we hop off of cryptocurrency talk, guys, cryptocurrency is real and it's here. Okay, don't try to say, oh, that's a scam. Oh, that's fake. That's a Ponzi scheme. Don't listen to all the fear and all the fear mongering tactics out there. Don't listen to it. Me and my wife, we lived off of Bitcoin for over 2.5 years, literally
Mm,
paying my light bill, paying my rent with Bitcoin. I had my
yep,
BitPay debit card, and we literally paid all our bills. We bought our flights, our hotels, our rental car, everything with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is real, guys, and it has some significance to it. So don't just dismiss it.
hmm,
We're still in accumulation mode. I could care less about the
sure.
price. I want to worry about the quantity. Okay, because we understand there's a finite amount that can ever be mined. And I just think I saw something about Biden just passed something where we're not going to be allowed to mine Bitcoin anymore or
Yes,
cryptocurrencies while we're in the States.
I just saw
That
that. He's
that's
actually
that's
banning
ridiculous.
it.
Yep.
Correct. He's banning it because he says it's causing the United States power system. It's putting too much pressure on it.
I
And yes,
believe
I
it.
agree that these bit miners and these miners that are that are mining Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all these other coins, they take a lot of power. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of power.
Oh yeah.
If you've ever seen a mining farm, it's racks and racks and racks of servers and graphic cards that are consistently 24 hours a day. There's no break. And so I agree, it is probably putting a little bit of a burden on the system. Last thing we need is the power grid to go down. We're already worried about China and North Korea and Russia doing things to us and hacking the system. We don't need any more pressure than we already have,
No,
especially here in Texas with its own independent power grid. That makes me a little
that's
nervous,
it.
right? Because we're not connected with any other state around us. We're completely independent. We're isolated from the rest of the country.
That's
But
it.
yeah, that's
Yeah, this
you know
it's
what pisses me off is that the government can come in and make those changes like that and just shut things down in the snap of a finger. It's
it's
scary.
but it's they have control, man. And
Yeah,
that
total
that's
control.
it's scary because we say in the financial industry, he or she that controls your money controls you in the decisions that you make in your life. But the same is true for everything else. He or she that controls your money really does control the decisions you make in your life. And it's
Mm,
not fair to the average middle class American,
yeah,
because somebody else controls our livelihood. And this is the entire message that we preach. Um, that we preach. One thing I'm going to do here later on is we're going to compare a couple different financial products. I want people to understand that 72% of middle class America is currently living paycheck to paycheck, and it's not really 100% their own fault,
mhm,
um, but it is their own fault. And the reason why is because if you live in America, you live in the wealthiest nation in the world. I
Yeah.
know if you live in paycheck to paycheck, you don't see it, but you live in the wealthiest nation in the world. I, I just had this conversation with my kids last night. Is you have millions of people flocking to the United States of America. You don't see millions of people flocking to Russia or China or Korea,
Right.
flocking to U.S. The United States of America. Here's the most insane thing right here, Mark, is America is the number one country that's pumped up on depression medication.
Yes.
So why
Anxiety,
are
depression
millions of
meds.
yeah, why are millions of people flocking to a depressed country? Because
Yeah.
they're on the
Crazy.
outside looking in and they don't see it as a depressed country. They see it as an opportunistic country. It's the
Right.
people that's born here that lets our school system tell us that, oh, you must have ADD. Oh, you must be depressed. Oh, you need Ritalin.
Correct.
You have anxiety issues. No, we're letting them put their thumb on our forehead and put a label on our forehead, and we start to buy into that limits and belief, and we become
Mhm.
average and ordinary and casual and just accept whatever role they give us. Guys, America is looking for leaders. America is looking for people, flag carriers that plant their flag in the ground, grab a pair, become vocal, and say, "Listen, we're going to challenge the status quo, whether you like it or not."
Correct.
I'm telling you, Mark,
Yeah.
if you can help someone change their financial future, you can help them change their life for
Mm.
generations to come. And
It's
that's why I
true.
love being in this industry, man. It's literally a poverty war that we're fighting, and we need some more soldiers in this poverty war, Mark. So let's walk them through this. I want to ask you a couple questions about your journey in the financial industry, going from corporate America, because 80% of our agents are part time, spare time, and I know in the beginning you did this very part time, but you eventually replaced your full time. Being a
Yes.
husband, being a father of twins, a father of triplets, and having raising your grandbaby, what was it about entrepreneurship, even though there was risk associated with it? What was it that said, you know what, I gotta put one foot in front of another and step out in faith? What was that? Share that with
It
everybody.
for me, it was enough is enough. I was tired of being sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I was ready to be my own boss. You know what I really got tired of? Here's the straw that broke the camel's back was one of my kids got sick one time, and my wife couldn't take all 5 kids to the doctors, right? I had to request off to take, my kid to the doctor, and my employer had a really hard time with me calling out, like, almost on the verge of, like, firing me because it was so short notice and blah, 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 and I was just, like, at the point where I was just like, I can't take this anymore." And then I wanted to go on take my kids on a vacation 1 time a year, and I tried requesting PTO, and it was like they denied me, and I was like, "I just can't do this anymore. They're paying me just enough so that I don't quit, and I'm doing just enough work so that they don't fire me." And it was a sick, twisted cycle that I was in. So I said to my wife, I said, "We gotta figure out what we gotta do. We gotta do something where we can create our own income. We can create our own time. We can do whatever we want to do now without having the man's thumb on our head, like you said earlier." And I said, "All right, what can we do? We can do affiliate marketing. We can do e-commerce. We can do side gigs." I was driving DoorDash. I was doing all these different things. And we were in the same circle in the marketing and crypto space. And I had followed you throughout the years and I saw you make a transition. You got 7 kids too. So I said, if this guy can do it, I'm going to reach out to him and see if he's got something that I could partake in. And so we talked, ended up getting some life insurance just personally for our family. And I said, okay, cool. I never really looked into life insurance. Maybe I could do something like this. So I kind of sat there. I waited. You tried to recruit me. I said, hell no, I don't want to do that right now. I put you on red for 2 years almost. It was like a 2 year
Right.
follow up. And then finally I was like, you know what? Let me get with this guy, see if he's for real. We sat down. I heard about the mission, the vision, the crusade, the cause that you were running for and why you were doing it. It wasn't just about the money. It was about helping people. And I said, I can roll with this guy. And so I ended up getting my license, getting started. Man, I was doing this part time for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, part time, 10 hours a week, like extremely part time. But I started making money and I started making a little bit more money every single week and every single month, a little bit more money, starting to pay off bills and debt and put some money in savings. And I think it was like 8 months in, I crossed over about 100K within my first year in business. And I was looked at my wife. I said, man, if I could do this on a part time, but this is part time, by the way. If I could do this part time, imagine what I could do full time. And I said, Coach, what do you think if I quit my job and did this full time? And what was your answer to me?
Hold on. So you got started around May, June time
Yeah.
period. January, I want to say January 2022, you made 28,000 in a month.
Yeah.
And you came to me and said, hey, coach, I'm looking to quit my job. I said, how much money you got in savings? Don't quit your job yet.
You
You
said,
quit
don't
your
do it.
freaking job.
Yeah,
You quit your
I said
job
too
though.
late. I said too late,
Too
too
late.
late. I said I
Too
too late.
late.
I fired my boss. I fired my boss. So I said now it's freaking sink or swim, baby. And I said, Coach, as long as you're here to help me, guide me, is this something that like we could roll together and just run? And it's wild because my wife and I put 8, 10 hours a day for ourselves at that point. We were running together. My wife was doing the back end stuff. I was client facing. And man, that first year, we doubled our income. And then the year
Yeah,
after that, we doubled our income
you
again.
went from six figures, 100,000 in month
Yeah,
8. You and your wife crossed a quarter million of cash flow income at 24 months in 1 week.
correct.
So that
Yeah,
tells you it's all about duplication. And if you copy the right cat, and if you're coachable and teachable in a place where you have a system that can be ran, that anybody can do it who's willing to learn it, hey, it's game on. Now,
for us, it was about systems. It was about systems, processes. It was about plugging into a platform that allowed us to really make something of ourselves. And it was exciting. It was an exciting run. We ran hard for it, and we doubled our income every single year, and we'll probably double it again in the next 2 years, right? And so that was exciting. But our focus now is to build a team. We want to build an
yeah,
agency. We just don't want to be a solo show. I don't want to be a solo producer making 250, 300. I want my people to make six figures. So I am adamant this year about creating 5 to 6 figure earners. I want my people to eat. I want
it's a
them
strong
making good
sign of a
money,
leader.
putting saving. Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah,
So that's what this year is all about. But it's been a pleasure running, and it's been a pleasure doing this. Even though we're not at the same company we started with, we're still doing the same thing. We're still serving families. We're still loving on people. Doesn't matter what company you're in. If your focus is right and you're surrounding yourself with the right people, you can flourish anywhere. That's my belief. I
1,000%.
believe it 100%.
No, 1,000%. I know one thing that our team's big on is making sure that we build our business on the foundations of Christ. And
Yeah.
we go to church together. We go over to your house and we praise and worship together. And
Yep.
we're not scared to say God's name and give up God all the glory. And even before I bring somebody onto to our squad to the Legacy Army, I find out what their beliefs are, right? Because I want to run with people that believe in what we believe in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's a beautiful thing, man. It's an honor to be in business with you and your wife and your family. And we got longevity, bro. We got a lot of kids, and we're gonna teach them the
Absolutely.
principles. The cool thing is our kids are growing up in this entrepreneurship lifestyle, so they're seeing how our life is, the money we're making. They're seeing the we're able to take them on trips and provide for them, and they're not going to be able to accept clocking in and clocking out and their life
Right.
being ran by the clock. That's going to be crazy.
Sure. Yeah.
Knowing that, for example, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're taking your girls to the park. What
Hmm.
are most other dads doing? They're at work, and
Sure. It's true.
when their dads get home, they're tired, they're exhausted, they're low energy, and they give their kids the leftovers. And that's not how
Yeah.
life should be. Now, I'm not knocking a 9 to 5. It's your 9 to 5 should pay your bills 1000%, but start something on the side so you can build your legacy.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it,
You
it's,
know,
it's, it's you have to.
I've seen and heard too many people that are struggling, and it really makes me mad. And that's one of the reasons we're in this business too, is to educate people with financial literacy and to help them make better financial choices. Did you see the recent article that came out from the Kellogg CEO who said
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
we're pushing cereal for dinner because it's a cheaper way to eat dinner at night, right? And he's like smiling and he's like, yeah, markets are saying that this is approved and people want to do this. And man, he's getting big backlash. What do you think about like what he said? I think like I'm offended by it in a way. That's where we are
Well,
in our economy right now, and these big
well, well, well,
corporate.
well, think well, think about it. I mean, Kellogg's doesn't have any pull, but if you're the Kellogg CEO and with rising taxes, with rising inflation, people, I mean, they're having to stretch their money like stretching paint on a wall. They're like, shoot, people are going to to cereal to more. So here's the thing: even though he's saying stuff like that, I don't see the stock price of Kellogg shooting up.
Right.
So
No.
he's just talking. So here, let me. I'm sharing your screen right now. Kellogg
Yeah.
cereal for dinner controversy and price increase spurs. So they increased the price of Kellogg's.
It seems like it's a
Price of
strategic
Kellogg.
play. It's a strategic play because they've been
Oh,
increasing the price of cereal because they want it to be like a main meal. Like they're touting it as at the end of the day, guys, listen. My kids have cereal for dinner sometimes. I think everybody's family does, but they're pushing it like they're marketing it as Tony the Tiger wants to feed you dinner. Eat our cereal. And half the cereal that they make is garbage anyway, with all the sugar and the GMOs and all that crap
that's all
that's
it
inside
is.
of it. It's all
Garbage.
garbage. All of Kellogg's
Yep.
cereal is garbage. I've been eating the nutritious stuff. Been going to like Sprouts and like, what are some of those natural stores?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
we've been trying to get the
I'm from
good
the
cereal.
country, so I eat grits for breakfast. Grits and
Grits.
eggs. Hey,
Not for
my
not
my
for dinner though, right? Not for dinner.
hey, grits you can eat any meal, right?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
family eats oatmeal. I eat grits. So if you like grits, go ahead and let me know in the comments, guys. If you're
Yeah.
with me, a fan of grits, and then also include what do you like in your grits? You like some salt, pepper, a little bit of sugar. You like sausage, maybe some salmon. What do you like in your grits? So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, grits are the bee's knees. So cool. As you guys are logging in, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and joining, guys. This is just real talk on a Saturday night. We're here to talk about life. We're here to talk about finances. We're here to talk about money and how you can become the next best version of yourself, my friends. Go ahead and let us know what city and state you're logging in from, guys. And let us know what questions do you have about retirement, about getting your money to work for you instead of for the bank, and what questions do you have about opportunity to make some additional income, my friends? Because many of you, yes, you got a money problem, you got an income problem, which means you need to learn how to make more money. We can show you how to do that. And it doesn't cost you anything to get started, guys, except a little bit of time, a little bit of energy, and a whole lot of effort. So good stuff, man. Somebody said, laugh out loud. Apparently, I like grits if made correctly. You
They gotta
you
be
can
made
put
correctly. They gotta
hey,
be made
give me
correctly.
some instant grits, throw some water in there, put them in the microwave for a minute and a half, a little salt and pepper, and I'm good.
You know what I've been eating for the last 2 weeks?
What's that?
Dang oatmeal, man. Corn, not
I
corn, but,
don't like oatmeal.
what's
Cornmeal,
the no, it was oatmeal. It was certain
cream
kind
of
of
wheat,
oatmeal. No, it was oatmeal. My wife is feeding me oatmeal every dang morning. We'll put a little bit of bananas in there. We'll put some raisins in there. I'll
honey.
put a little bit of
Yeah.
honey. Almost good, but after like 2 3 days of eating that dang oatmeal, man, you gotta mix it up a
The,
little bit. So
the only way I would be able to eat oatmeal is if I would throw dry oatmeal in my protein shakes, mix it up. That's the only way I would be able to. The smell of oatmeal grosses me out. I can't do it.
interesting,
But
interesting.
I don't know why, but yeah, it's all right. So
Yeah,
but cool. So what's the next topic, guys? What's the next topic, Mark? You want to hit on?
man, I heard something today that was a little bit scary to me. We're in the life insurance business, right? And there's a big TikTok controversy. A woman that works for a life insurance company said, and we'll address this. This would be a good one for you to address. I addressed it in a short form video. I want to hear your opinion. A woman that works for, I don't know what company, a carrier. She's a phone operator. 72-year-old woman called in to the carrier and said, I just got a letter in the mail that says after 27 years 30 years of me paying into my policy that it's about to lapse and they're going to cancel it. She goes, I've been paying my premium on time, $47 per month for the last 30 years. Why is my policy about to lapse? And then the lady on the other line, the worker, she's like, yes, I do see this, ma'am. I understand. I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. Your policy is going to lapse. There's nothing you can do about it. And she said, this is a universal policy, and you have not increased your premiums over the years, and you've let it run out of cash value. The cash value was being eaten away in order to continue your policy and allow it to run. And everybody in the comments is saying that's why you shouldn't buy IULs. And I'm like, wait a second. No, this is a universal policy. This is not an index. And I went to the source and I looked it up, and it was a universal policy. And so a lot of people don't realize, and even on YouTube, they'll compare term, whole life, and universal. And they'll group
IULs weren't
universal
even
in,
around 27 years ago.
and they'll group universal in with IULs. And they're two
Yeah.
very, very different types of policies. What's your take on that? On this 72-year-old woman, what are a couple different angles you can take on this? Why her policy ran out, why she wasn't educated properly, and why she was only paying the very minimum she thought she was going to have her policy for the rest of her life. Give me your input on that.
Well, first and foremost, the first type of permanent life insurance is whole life insurance. Whole life insurance has some pros, has some cons, just like any product out there, any financial vehicle that somebody uses. So whole life, we're just going to go through each product. So whole life is structured primarily for death benefit and cash value accumulation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When a client passes away, the insurance company gets the beneficiary gets the death benefit. The insurance company keeps the cash value. Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, that was the only thing that was around in the 70s, right? So
Correct.
in the 80s, that's when universal life, guaranteed universal life, existed. That was a fixed product similar to whole life. Whole life is fixed,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what carrier you go to, 2 to 3%.
Correct. What does
Obviously, that's
fixed mean for those who don't understand?
fixed means that you're getting a fixed rate of return. Meaning, let's
Correct.
say you go with one carrier that gives you a fixed rate of return of 2%.
Yeah.
That means that the market does 10%, you're still going to get 2%. If the market
Correct. It
loses
doesn't matter what the
10%,
market
you're
does.
still going to get 2%.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not even keeping up with the rate of inflation right now. So if inflation is 4%, you're getting 2%, you're still losing purchasing power every year you keep your money in that financial
Mm-hmm.
vehicle. Now, universal life was not designed, it was not a sexy vehicle for cash value accumulation. However, it was a strong permanent policy that would protect you until you're 120 years old. And it was fixed as well, 2-3% depending on depending on what you're solving for.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to see her policy, see how it was structured first and foremost, because think
Yeah.
about this, Mark. There's a lot of people out there on TikTok. There's a lot of people out there on YouTube Shorts and Instagram and Facebook Reels. A lot of people are talking, okay? And it's pissing me off because they're giving out misinformation, okay? And people are putting their money with these people, even though there's 104,000 active licensed life insurance agents in the nation.
Mm.
Less than 95% of them, or I'm sorry, should I say 95% of them don't even know the first thing on how to properly structure a permanent policy, whether it be whole
Correct.
life, universal life, or index universal life. Okay. So guys, just because somebody has a life insurance license and they can represent this product doesn't mean they are the people you should go with. Because
Yeah.
just as important as the company you go with and the product you go with, the agent you decide to partner with,
Mm-hmm.
that's vitally as important. Okay.
Here's one thing that the lady said is that the old woman was only paying the minimums. Inside of Universal, there's three
Yeah.
types of payments that you can pay. You can pay the
Yeah.
minimum, you can pay
The,
your modal premium, which is the target, and
the
then
target.
you can overpay and pay a max funded inside
Permanent
Universal.
policies are the way they should be properly structured is get the least amount of death benefit and max fund it. So, for example, if a client we sit with, they say, "Hey, we're saving $300 per month inside of our current retirement strategy. We don't like there's no death benefit. We don't like that we take market losses. We don't like that we're going to delay taxes until 20 years from now when taxes are going to be higher. I want to reallocate a portion of this 300 to a properly structured life insurance policy. Perfect. Okay, cool. How much of that money do you not want to lose? I don't want to lose $250 of it. Cool. We'll open up a $250 policy. Once we find out how much our client can comfortably save without putting them in a financial hardship,
Mm-hmm.
then we're going to take that amount and we're going to find out what is the least amount of death benefit that we can get away with for this policy to still be constituted as a life insurance policy. Okay.
Correct.
So if I put that thing at target, 100% 20 years from now, it's going to implode itself. It's I probably got a lawsuit on my hand. Okay.
100%.
And many of these agents out there, they're going to have lawsuits on their hand if they continue doing the bad ethical practices that they're doing. Okay. So minimize death benefit, maximize cash value accumulation. But if somebody's only paying the minimum, it's going to implode itself. You have to be paying the maximum, which is up to the Met.
And there's only one reason you would ever run it at target is if they were going to overfund and max contribute to it 100%, because you would want to leave a little bit of room in there, but that leaves room for them to triple their payment if they were going to do that. And any other policy should be designed 100% max, minimum death benefit so that you can max accumulate, whether it's a universal or an index. The difference is index earns 6 to 8% return based on market performance. So it allows your policy to compound a lot faster, giving you a lot more cash value. Even if your policy does rise in the cost of insurance, you're going to way far supersede what the cost of insurance is by the interest that you're earning. Coach, talk to us about this. Why do people think that, and this is truth, but a lot of people don't understand it. The cost of insurance goes up as you get older. But why do the fees inside of an IUL decrease as the policy gets older and the person gets older? What's the reason for that?
So it's once again, it has to be properly structured.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen recently, Mark, when I come across someone who already has a policy or an IUL, I'm like, cool. When's the last time you talked to your agent? Oh, it was 2 years ago when I actually got it set up. Cool. Let's do a review. Because most people don't even know what carrier they have and how much they're saving per month. And then they don't even know how it works. It's like
Correct.
99% of the people that have a 401k, they don't know that they're going to have to pay taxes in the future. They don't know that they lose every time the stock market drops. They don't know that they don't have access until they're 59 and a half years old without a 10% penalty. So they're blindly putting money away, hoping, wishing, and praying there's enough money in there when they go to retire. There's not, my friend. That's why you're going to be relying on Social Security. That's not going to be around
Correct.
20 years from now. Okay. So think about this. When the reason why the cost of insurance increases, but the fees decrease as you get older if it's properly insured. So, for example, you're paying for cost of insurance. So let's say, Mark, I set up a client with $200,000 death benefit. I
Yeah.
have that increasing in the beginning stages. So the death benefit's going to increase from 200,000 as their cash value increases. So let's say they're putting $10,000 per year inside of it. They're saving $10,000 per year. So their initial death benefit is 210,000. The next year, their death benefit is 220,000. So by year 20, they probably have what? 22, it's 400,000. So now the death benefit is not 200,000, it's 400,000. However, whenever they go to retire, the way we structure it is once they retire, we switch it from increasing to level, and it levels it out. So it's going to stay at 400 for a couple years, because as the cash value continues to increase and compound and grow, now the cash value is not 200,000 anymore. Now the cash value is 300,000. Their death benefits 400,000. Even though the cost of insurance increased, they're only paying cost of insurance on 100,000 now instead of 200,000, because the insurance company is at less risk of loss, because now they're only insuring them for 100,000. They're starting to become self-insured.
There
And
you go.
eventually, as it continues to compound and as they get older, their fees are going to get less. So in the beginning, cost of insurance is going to be right around 1%. But as it continues to grow throughout their life, the cost of insurance is going to be right around 0.5%.
Yeah. People
401
don't realize that.
401k fees are going to increase 1.5% to 3%, even though it stays there. If I got 10,000 in my 401k at 1%, that's not much. But as that 10,000 grows to 100,000 and 500,000 and a million, and I'm still paying 1%, that's a
Correct.
lot of money. Okay. So the fees are less inside
Yeah.
of a properly structured life insurance policy than a 401k or IRA ever thought about being. But people don't understand that.
They don't realize that. And that even agents that I know,
No.
agents don't even understand that. 80% of the agents out there that are dealing with these products do not understand how they work, and they're structuring it wrong. They're guiding people the wrong way. One person asked, "That's a scary stat. How do you know if an agent knows what they're doing?" How would you give that advice?
We,
What
we,
would you say about that?
well, I'll point them. Mark, we actually did a video on that. We actually did a
Yeah.
podcast on Legacy Syndicate with that. Let me see if I can find it while we're talking. I'll post
It was like
the
the
link in here.
14
It was
questions to
14
ask your
questions to
financial
ask
advisor or
your
something like that.
financial advisor or specialist
Yeah.
before you move forward with them. So
I'd say
uh,
number one, if they're not telling you they're going to design it with minimum death benefits, maximum cash value, run the other way, because I just reviewed a policy where the death benefits were so high it was eating away at the person put about $1,000 per month away. They did that for 2 or 3 years and they only had a quarter of what they put in. It's because the cost of insurance was so high it was eating away at the premiums because they didn't do it with minimum death benefit, maximum cash value. Same thing with whole life. The base whole life should be very small. It should have a bigger term rider on there, and at the end of 10 years that term rider falls off. Now the cost of insurance is almost nothing.
Yep.
If you guys haven't subscribed to the Legacy Syndicate podcast, check us out on YouTube, the Legacy Syndicate podcast. Also, join our free Facebook group. We've got the Legacy Syndicate Facebook group you can join for free. We're dropping knowledge in there. Actually, we're going live in there right now. So hopefully you're gaining some value if you're inside the group as well. We're going to have some contests throughout the year. We're going to be dropping some cool products that we're working on and some software that we're working on as well. But yeah, let us know what questions you guys have in the comments as we start to wind down this chat for the evening, and we'll talk about the last few things. I think I got one more thing to talk about. I don't know if you what else you want to cover.
That's good. Let's talk about it and let's wrap it up. Yeah, I'm about to post a link to this right now in the group. So I'm going to
Drop it
share
in the
this.
group.
This is 14 questions to ask your financial advisor. I'm going to drop
Yeah,
it
that's a
in
good one
here.
right there.
Yep.
Here, I'm gonna put this in the share space. You want to share that graph right there. So let's talk about the cost of waiting to save for retirement. This is a hot topic right now. You got people that are in their 30s and 40s that said, if I wish I would have known about compound interest and investing in my 20s, I would have been farther along than I am right now. I got people in their 50s and 60s saying, Mark, I'm begging you, help me come up with a plan because we haven't been able to save and we haven't been able to do anything up until this point. I want to be able to retire in 10 years. And I'm like, it's such a sad conversation to have because unless they can put thousands of dollars away per month, they're not going to have much of a retirement. They're going to have to be forced to keep working. I shared a slide. If you can go ahead and let that slide on the video right here. It's called the cost of waiting, and it shows you if you got started at 25 years old investing $4,000 per year, which is not a lot of money per month. By the time you're 65 years old, you'd have close to $1 million. Now, we're not talking about any specific investment. We're not talking about just life insurance. We're just saying the general rule of thumb. You putting money away every single month. $4,000 per year is not a lot of money, okay? Do the math. You'd have, from 25 years old to 65 years old, you'd have $992,000, almost $1 million. If you just waited 10 years, you'd lose $300,000 in your retirement for 10 years of waiting. You wait from 25 to 35, you invest $6,000 per year. By 65, well, your investment has to go up too. You can't just invest $4,000 per year. You actually have to increase it. You'd only have $703,000 at age of retirement, age 65. You wait another 10 years. Let's say you waited at 25. You were still sowing your oats. You were partying. You were having a good time. And you said, I'm not gonna save right now, which most millennials are in that state of mind right now. I'm not gonna save for retirement. I'm gonna live my life right now. I'm gonna YOLO that joint right now, right? They're living right now. If you waited until 45 to start, you'd have to start putting away at least $10,000 per year, right? That's $200,000 invested. You'd earn $298,000 in interest. You'd be living on $495,000. That's almost $500,000 for waiting 30 years. And let's say finally, if you waited until you were 55, you would have to aggressively save $20,000 per year, $200,000 invested, $115,000 earned. You'd have $300,000. That's all you would have at retirement. Now, Tell us how you can live off of that, Coach, based on the rule of 4%.
How much are you going to have again?
$315,000 if you started at age 55 years old, or $1 million if you started at 25 years old. That's not a lot either when you break the numbers down.
All right, cool. Let's do this. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to research together. Okay. Let's see. Present. Share screen. I got to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what is the rule of 4%?
There you go.
All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, it says the 4% rule is a popular retirement withdrawal strategy that suggests that retirees can safely withdraw the amount equal to 4% of their savings during the year they retire and then adjust for inflation each subsequent year for 30 years. What this is saying, guys, okay, let me stop sharing this. What this is saying is that if you have $385,000, was that the number 385?
$315,000 if you started
Okay.
at age 55.
Okay, so 315,000 times 4% is $12,600
per year.
So per annual per year. So you're telling me that I worked my entire life. I have about 15 years left until I pass away, and I'm only going to have to live off of $12,600. Oh, it gets better.
Yeah.
Now you have to pay taxes on that money because you were in a
Right.
tax deferred account.
So what does that turn into? What does that $12,000 per year turn into? You
Well, based
pay
on
12 to
12,
15%.
well, based on 12,600, they'd probably be paying about 10%.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
not much, but it's still more than they should be paying, right? So, but here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You're going to be dependent upon the government for your livelihood at 12,600. Okay. The government controls the decisions that you're going to be making as long as you're dependent upon them for your
Right.
livelihood. I'm talking medical, like it becomes socialism, right? Where everybody gets equal. We live in a capitalist nation. So we teach people that pay taxes now at all-time historical low. That way you don't have to worry about what taxes are 20 years from now. You don't have to worry about if the government's going to do bad business deals, if the government's going to funnel billions of dollars to a war to a country that we don't belong in. You don't have to worry about that. Because here's one thing. William Bengen, he was like Doctor Strange in the last Avengers movie. He does something
Yeah.
called a Monte Carlo formula. Okay. I'm gonna pull the Monte Carlo formula up so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Okay. Monte Carlo formula. Okay.
And
He
also
ran
when you're doing this, give us the scenario for $1 million as well when you get a chance.
Okay. For
Guys, if you're finding if you're finding value in this content, please drop it in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a hashtag live if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay and drop any questions that you have. We'll go through it and we'll answer the questions for you. If not, as a text response, we'll do it as a video response next time we go live.
can't find the picture I'm looking at. Anyway, what he does is he runs this Monte Carlo formula. He runs it 1,000 times, sort of like Dr. Strange did. He said, I'm going to run this formula. How many different ways could we do this to have a different outcome? So they said, okay, if we pull out the average rate of return from the stock market, what's the outcome going to be? How soon are we going to run out of money? Every formula, the person ran out of money before they passed away. So with the formula, it came out, said you cannot safely withdraw for more than 4% if you wanted a 90% probability that you didn't want to run out of money too soon.
Correct.
But a couple guys with alphabet soup behind their name, some CFPs and CPAs and accountants, they reran the Monte Carlo formula here recently in 2021, and they determined that with high inflation, with high interest rates, Let me know when you're ready to share it. With the new
Yeah.
inflation,
Right.
with the new interest rates, that you can't safely pull out more than 2.8% per year if you still want that 90% probability of not running out of money too soon. So,
Here, go ahead
have you
and
shared
share
it yet?
share my screen. Here we go.
I just yep, there we go. Yeah, so these are the guys that had Alphabet. So you want to explain this to them?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, go. Yeah, so this is telling you that if you look here, that just to highlight that I highlighted, because portfolio returns in earliest years of retirement have a larger impact on the likelihood that a retirement income strategy will succeed than returns later in retirement. This is known as sequence of return risk. So we find a retiree who wants a 90% probability of achieving a retirement income goal with a 30-year time horizon and a 40% equity portfolio would only have an initial withdrawal rate of 2.8%.
How can you
It's
live
not
off
even
of 2.8%?
4%.
That's
That means
crazy.
if you got $1 million nest egg, you cannot safely pull out more than 2.8%, which is $28,000 per
Correct.
year. And I
Correct.
promise you, if you have $1 million saved up, you were making probably 150, $250,000 per year. That's not gonna give you
Yeah.
the golden year retirement that you've been seeking, my friend. So this right here, this tells you, you got a million, it's gonna yield you 40,000 after taxes, about 32,500.
Hmm.
You got 700,000, that's a 28,000. And if you have $100,000, it's gonna yield you 4,000. And the hundred
Graceful.
thousand dollars is more realistic to middle class America. And the reason why is because if you can you type in what is the average 401k balance at 65 in America? The first thing should be a Vanguard poll, Vanguard or Principal poll.
Yep. Let's see.
Guys,
Uh,
this way, when you guys see it, it becomes real for you. Stop listening to mainstream news. Stop listening to the government. Stop listening to your educator at school. Stop listening to your freaking financial advisor who gets paid to tell you to keep your money in the stock market.
hmm.
Yeah, just click on the very first one. I I
Average
the
401k. Here, try this one.
no, it's right there, Mark. I didn't even see it. It's right there on the screen that you were currently sharing.
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
even
yeah,
see
it's
it.
right there. Yeah, you're right.
Yep,
Yep.
I didn't even see it. Go back to it.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yep, there you go. So if you look at this, this is from Vanguard. At 65, the average 401k balance, the median 401k balance in America is $82,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
You take 2.8% of $82,000.
Hmm.
You're making $297 per month. You working at Walmart shaking the bell outside for the Salvation Army. Not
Yeah,
because you want to, but because you have to. Guys, I'm telling you, if you
there
want
has
any
to be another
chance
way.
at financial freedom, you have to change strategies. You have to learn how to leverage the US tax code. The US tax code is 70,000 pages long. Only the first 30 pages tell you what taxes you have to pay. The additional 69,970 pages tell you how not to pay the first 30 pages of taxes.
Correct.
There's a book called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. The author is called T. Harv Eckert. And what T. Harv Eckert says in this book is he says that if you are middle class America, if you are a W 2 employee, you trade time for dollars, you will never know what financial freedom is. And here's
Hmm.
why 51% of all the money you make throughout your lifetime goes to the government in the form of taxes.
That's a bad partnership, brother.
It's a bad partnership. There's a guy that we got to know really well. His name is Sandy Bakken. So he
Hmm.
was the senior IRS CPA, and he wrote a book called How to Lower Your Taxes.
I
Can
don't even
anybody
have it.
guess what is chapter one in that book? I might have it over here.
I think I got it over here.
It might be in my wife's office. It's called How to Lower Your Taxes in the very first chapter of that book. I'll have Mark read that for you if he can find it.
No, I can't find it. I put it away somewhere. I had it over here earlier. But the number one way, the first chapter of the book says you'd be brain dead if you didn't. What was it?
Start a home
Start a
based
home-based
business.
business.
So I don't
And
care who you are, where you come from, what your race is, your religious background, your preference. I could care less. Start you a business today. I don't
and
care
it's
if
not
you're
talk. We're
selling
not talking about
T-shirts.
MLM. We're not talking about just network marketing. We're talking about selling T-shirts out of the backseat of your car. Like
That's it.
anything that you can do to make a little extra money. freelance gigger on Uber, Lyft,
Monetize your
DoorDash,
skill set.
you can write off taxes that you couldn't write off normally if you were just a W-2 nine to five worker. You can write off your cell phone, a portion of your cell phone bill, a portion of your electric bill, a portion of your room in your home that you use as an office, your internet connection. You can write off mileage in your car. There are so many things that you can do.
You can write off these microphones. You can write off these microphones. You can write off the computer. You can write off your clothes. I write off my haircut.
Correct. You go out to eat with your family and you talk about business. Guess what?
It's a write-off.
It's a write-off.
So
people just don't know this. They're scared to jump into that pool of entrepreneurship, and they just need a little bit of guidance. They just need a little bit of mentorship. And guys, that's what we're here for. Reach out to us. Let us know.
They got the wrong people in their ear, Mark. What are 3 things that have changed someone's life, Mark?
The books you read, the events you attend, and the people that you surround yourself with, Coach.
That's it. It says average minds discuss people. Great minds discuss ideas. Take a reflection of your current inner circle. What are your conversations about? Are you gossiping about other people? Are you talking bad about other people? Are you talking about $50,000 per year conversations?
Yeah.
Or are you thinking higher law? You're talking higher law. You're talking $500,000. You're talking $1 million conversations. You're talking about not only renting an office, but you're talking about buying the entire building, right? What events are you attending? Are you attending the latest Beyonce concert, the latest Taylor Swift concert, the Super Bowl?
Swiftie.
Or are you attending events that's going to pour into you, open up your heart, open up your mind, and pour into your soul to elevate you to the next level? Guys, what books are you reading? Are you reading the latest sex romance novel? Are you reading Harry Potter? Unless you plan on becoming a magician, like a real life magician, Harry Potter is not going to help you, my friends, right? You got to read some self-help books, some mindset books, some development books, some communication books, some finance books. Guys, everything that you've ever wanted to know in your life is written in books. The problem is the average American reads less than half a book per year. The average CEO reads more than 60 books per year. And you wonder why they're wealthy and you're broke.
So true.
Just saying, guys, if you want better, you got to do better. If you want change, you first got to change. Don't blame your circumstances for where you are today. And don't let your current circumstances change your responsibility in life. Because a good book says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Guys, it's your responsibility. Don't say, well, at least I did this. At least I did that. Your nickname is going to be called Almost. That's going to be your new nickname. Exactly. Almost. You almost did that. You almost did it, but you didn't quite have it in you. But guys, we can sit here and talk about this all day long.
We'll leave that for the next live.
We'll leave that for the next live because I want to talk about a video I just created tonight. The difference between a Roth IRA and an IUL. I break down the numbers on the Roth IRA and an IUL.
And where can they find that?
It's wherever my profile is. I share it across all platforms. So
Jesse Moon. What are your social handles that they can find you at, Coach?
On Facebook, it's the Real Jesse Moon. On YouTube, it's the Real Jesse Moon. On TikTok, one of my profiles is the Real Jesse Moon, but we just created a second profile called Compound.Wealth. So it's not a fake profile, guys. It's Compound.Wealth. And I believe you created a new profile too called Compound Coach.
Compound Coach on TikTok. Also Mark Cassera on TikTok. Mark Cassera on Facebook. Real Mark Cassera on IG. Guys, show some gratitude in the comments. Let us know if you got any value out of this. Drop a thank you. Drop a appreciate you. Let us know your biggest takeaway in the comments as well. And we'll be happy to see you guys in the next live. Coach, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for the real talk we had tonight. And I look forward to doing many of these in the near future.
Yep. You as well, brother, man.